Hi, my name is Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and this is the Bowtech Fanatic. So this bow was made in 2016, obviously from Bowtech, and it's got some features I want to look at, and we're going to try it and sort of see how it goes. So the bow's 37 inches axle, a bit over a 7-inch brace height, shoots about 308, adjustable draw length with rotating module. So let's look at it. Anodized riser. So Bowtech is now painted. I like the riser, it looks nice. A bridge here, which is interesting. Bowtech's obviously gone away from that. Rotating modules, these are the cams here. Now the problem I find with the module is there's two screws, two little nuts that you need to move this module. Making the module bigger increases the draw length. One of the little screws I need to access is underneath the limb, so it's hard to do it by yourself. You've got to pull on the cable, and you can see you can get access to that screw, but it's pretty hard to do unless you've got a bow press. So with this bow, as you draw it back, these little axles on the end rotate, so this system is still incorporated in Bowtech. The draw stop here is interesting, so you can rotate the draw stop, so you've got two spots to give you a flat wall, and you can change the position like around, so you've got three positions to change the lead off. That's pretty unique. I haven't seen that before. A flexible cable guard I have seen before with rollers. This is good. With Bowtech they had a lock-in system. This is interesting. PSE had this system as well for a while. I'm going to guess it's about the same time period. The bow weighed 4.7, which is quite good. The grip feels very comfortable. Now I'm not sure if it's because he padded this out here, but my hand seems to fit in really nice, and it feels really good. Overall, the bow's in good condition. The limbs, you can see they're thicker here, thinner there, thinner there. This is like the PSE citation, and Bowtech had this technology out years and years before this. The concept of this was to flex the limb evenly over the entire length of the limb, and that's why it's braced in the middle here. So Bowtech came out with this with the bow called the Guardian, I think, or the Commanders. There's a whole bunch of bows when Bowtech came out with this, and I'm going to guess that was almost 20 years ago. So 6 years on, this bow back in 2016 used to sell for about $2,000. Now the draw length on this bow is set to and this axle technology is pretty much the same today that Bowtech's using. This bow back in 2016 sold for about $2,000, and so that was quite expensive back in 2016. So let's try the draw cycle. It's set on 60 pounds. So it feels easy, letting off, and it just drops in. You can see the position of the peep sight for me is far different than this guy's shot. So we're going to take the shot. And the bow feels very nice. The wall's very solid. It's got a slight jump forward in the hand. I'm going to say it's not as quick as a lot of your modern compounds. But this bow's on a shorter draw length, obviously, but it slightly jumps forward in your hand like a PSE Supra, even though the limbs are quite parallel, but it feels very much like your Hoyt Stratos, which jumps forward in your hand, and your Supras. The draw cycle is very easy for 60. It's quiet. It's a nice little bow. The thing that strikes me is the difference in the position of the archer who had this is his peep and kisser button. It's so different for me. You can see how far up I had to move mine. So he must have been right up his face here. So we'll just try this, see if it's a little bit more comfortable. So it's a lovely bow to shoot. It's very nice. I'm going to move this. So the kisser button here, whoops, there it goes. We'll just move that up a bit. See if I can get a little bit more comfortable with it. The bow, look, when people talk about bows, bows have not changed a lot in the last 6 years, or maybe even back before then. Now the peep sight is exactly in the wrong area, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try to move the peep sight up and shoot through the gap. So we'll see how we go with that. I'm really liking the draw cycle. I like the way the bow feels. I like the grip. Yeah, feels very, very nice. Now I'm going to say one of my friends was sponsored by Bowtech back when this bow was available. This is going from my memory. I didn't sell the bow, but I think he piled a stack of weight on this little rear thing, which you just see doesn't have a bushing in it, and I'm pretty sure he cracked one of these. So if you're going to put on massive amounts of weight, be a bit careful of this one. I'd suggest you do it from the front here. If you're doing lots of weight, if you're just doing a little bit of weight, sure, it'll be fine there. But if you're doing lots of weight, throw it on the front. But we're going to go back down to 18. Now that you can see the draw length is miles too short for me, but I still think I'll shoot okay with it. And see how well it shoots. Okay, so I'm back at 18, and the sight settings went in pretty easily, so I think it's going to go in the middle. The let off here is at the maximum, so this is the closest. If you move it forward, you're basically moving the valley, you're reducing the size of the valley, so just think about that. I'm going to say this bow's beautiful to shoot, really, really nice. Now I never saw many of these bows around in its era in 2016, so I'm going to guess it's because the person who was selling Bowtech sold Hoyt. But I don't know. I never saw any. This one came from interstate. The person traded in for another bow, for a PSE Omen, as I recall. It's a lovely bow to shoot. So let's see how well I shoot. Fingers crossed. The bow aims perfect, like really good. It's not moving around at all. It's a nice day today. There's a bit of heat. There's not much wind. It's a beautiful day for testing bows. This bow feels great. It's really, really nice. I rate this bow. I really do. It's a very good bow to shoot. So the yoke system here enables you to time your cams like left to right. Obviously the new Bowtechs you can move your cams left to right, but on this system you just twist up the cables if you've got left or right leans on your tears. I don't really worry about that these days. I just shoot. See, the thing with the bow, like you hold the bow there and you can see how well balanced it is. Bigger brace height, bigger axle. This bow I should shoot well with because it seems to be the formula for me to shoot well on these bow reviews. A bigger brace height, if the bow's well balanced, I shoot better, which is why I shoot better with the hunting bows. If the draw cycle's smooth, I tend to shoot it well. Now the draw stop, the valley sort of lobs into the valley, but it's very solid wool. It feels a bit like the new Verdict with the fast mods fitted to it, which is how the Verdict comes. So it drops off into the valley, very much like your Hoyt Stratos. And there's the thing. So you've got the binary cam. So you've got your binary cams here. Hoyt have now got binary cams, 6 years on. You've got a yoke system for tuning, which Hoyt doesn't have. It's got the tri-track system. Roller slide, same as Hoyt, but it's flex. It's basically the new Hoyt Stratos in engineering, but probably a little bit more engineering in this than the Hoyt. Because this has this axle system that moves around to reduce the tension on the cables. It's pretty good. The shots feel easy. No shot feels hard, and even though the draw length is probably 2 inches shorter than where I want it to be, it feels fine. Now what's interesting, the person who traded this bow in, traded in on a PSE Omen. Like, that thing's fast. It's a fast bow, and this bow is a soft target bow, and he's gone for a fast hunting bow. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the arrows down the other end. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty good grip. Like, obviously my sights aren't spot on, but it's a very good, like, those all arrows are all clunched together. I think that's pretty good for a drawing 2 inches too short for me. I think it's really good. So things I like about the Fanatic, I like the finish, I like the grip, I like the adjustability, I like the way it shoots, I like the roller slide. It's a good, solid bow. Now, I don't know what you're going to pay for one of these. I tried to look it up beforehand. Because I think when the customer traded the bow in, I was like, I don't know what I can get for this, because there's not many of them around. I don't know how it'll be sought after. How it would compare to a 6-year-old PSE Supra. Obviously, a PSE Supra back 6 years ago was probably about 1,300, and this bow was 2,000. But it's probably going to sell at that same sort of price point today as a beginner target bow. So I'm going to guess it's probably going to go around the $500 mark. I don't know what I paid for it, but I'm guessing around that price point. So five. Look, you could probably get 600 for it. Now you could make a case that you could get $1,000 for it, and I'd be like, yeah, well, fair enough. It's at $1,000, you're up against Chinese bows. There's nothing wrong with the Chinese bows; they're quite good. But this feels as good as anything on the market today. It's obviously solid. You got to, when you buy secondhand, you got to think about warranty. You got to think about the string condition. The string condition on these bows is good. Now with strings, a lot of people will grab a new bow and they'll fit new strings to them. And I see this all the time. People are like, oh, what's a good set of strings? Look, I don't get it, because the strings are made by the same manufacturer, whether you go BCY or Bloodline strings. Look, I don't know why people pay $300 for a set of strings versus $150. I don't understand that. But these strings, they look in good condition. They look brand new. I don't think the bow's had a lot of use. I think they look fine. So I wouldn't be changing the strings. But when you buy a second-hand bow, bear in mind, if the strings need to be replaced, you're up for whatever the cost of the strings are. Let's pull a number out the air, about $160. You're going to be up for the person to fit the strings. That depends on the bow. This bow would be quite easy to fit a set of strings, and then to time them and all that sort of stuff. On this bow, you're probably up for 10 minutes to fit them, and then probably to time the cables, probably another 10 minutes, so probably 20 minutes. And then if you're going to do the peep sights, just tie that in probably another 10 to 20 minutes to get it all lined up. So you're probably 40 minutes work to fit the strings. So so Bowtech Fanatic, really like it. I think it's a great bow, very adjustable. I think it would be a good bow for a beginner, someone in the club who wants to just try a different bow. And I think what's good about secondhand bows is, like, when you buy it, you're not going to lose a lot when you go, well, I want to buy another bow. I've got a friend in another archery club. He buys all secondhand bows, and then pretty much 2 months later he'll sell it and buy another one. So he's not losing basically any money. He just gets to trade all his bows. So the Fanatic, today I still think it's a state-of-the-art bow. I would see no reason why you'd want to change from this bow to anything in the market today. I think the feel of the bow is good, the draw cycle is good. You could have an argument about if some draw cycles are smoother, and I'd say yes, there are some bows that are smoother, but overall it's a fantastic bow, especially at a second-hand price point. And if you've got this bow at $600, I'm going to go $600, and the PSE Stinger's $700. I'm buying this all day. So there'd be no other bow I would buy at the $600 price point, especially for Target. If this bow is $600, then I go $700 and $700. Now I'm starting to look at Chinese bows, and I'm going second-hand Chinese, and that's when I start to throw oranges up in the air and go, look, I don't really care which way I go. But Target bows today are relatively expensive, but if you can get a good one at the right price, second-hand, it's good. There wouldn't be many Fanatics in Australia. I don't know how it's sold overseas, but there wouldn't be many in Australia. I don't think the distributor did a great job of selling the Fanatics back in his day. I'm not trashing him, I sound like I am, I just don't think he sold many. This is probably the first one I've seen in live. I've seen them on, obviously, Facebook groups and stuff, but this is the first one I've seen live, and I know of one person who shot them before in Australia. And I'm sure there's been more than one, but the only person I know is the person in Victoria who shot them, and he was sponsored. But fantastic bow, shoots great, really, really good. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. That's the Bowtech Fanatic. Came in two models, a Fanatic 2 and a Fanatic 3. The Fanatic 3 had a different cam system than this. I haven't seen the Fanatic 3. This is the first Fanatic I've seen. This is a 2 with their twisting axles. And they've been pretty solid. I haven't had too many problems. It's just like if you dry fire the bow, and blow up the bow, you're going to need the whole system. So bear that in mind. I don't know if it's still available. I don't know what Bowtech would do. It's likely to be a write-off if you dry fire the bow and blow up the cams. But at the price point, I think it's okay, and it's not particularly fast, and it'll probably handle it if you did do it, but don't do it. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. Bye.